Hey guys, this is Jamie. As you may have noticed, I have great makeup on and I'm bold. So basically, with all the stress due to war and everything, I just decided to shave my head off because my hair was falling all over the place and I figured that I've had enough of fighting it. So yeah, so today I'm gonna be talking about information fatigue and specifically about war fatigue. So obviously this is a beaten up topic. Everyone talks about it that we're in this age where we have too much information, more than we can process, more than we can digest. And obviously with the war in Ukraine there's a lot of misinformation, so then you have to double check through different sources, and it's not like you can obviously you can't just turn on the telly and listen to one source, and the same applies to whether you go on YouTube and then check one source as well, because there's a lot and a lot of misinformation. So I really wanted to address one of the main things I wanted to address, besides my dog, which is barking on Easter for some reason a lot, was the fact that I did actually talk about when the conflict started back in 2014, and I did sort of try to raise awareness. I tried to talk about it a lot. I have some old videos on it, and so it feels kind of, obviously there's a lot of posts which go like, oh, pretty much with the structure which goes like, if you don't repost this you don't have a heart and etc. And having relatives from Ukraine, obviously I don't talk much about my roots and stuff, but I feel like it's way too personal for me to raise awareness on media all the time, and specifically I have fatigue because I've really tried back in 2014 and no one listens, so I'm just like, I don't give a shit at this point. And I know what I'm doing, and I know that I did my part to help my relatives. I did my part to spread information at the time, and so I kind of feel very uncomfortable with people who are like, it's your fault if you stay silent now, and it's like, well, I wasn't silent back knows when and everyone ignored it, so so then that brings us to what is happening now. And I feel like even from my own and my partner's habits, like we've been watching much more reality TV just to relax. And obviously, because there's so much information, it really draws attention for us into a need to relax, because there's only so much we can handle. And obviously you can look at different situations which are happening in countries like the UK has a lot of trans regulation passing, which isn't good. There's obviously JK yapping about pretty much nearly every day at this point. I also wanted to say that if you still support Harry Potter at this point, you're an asshole. And this brought me up because I was talking to this guy, and I was like, I really cannot stomach this. I really cannot stomach someone who's still, paying her money and says he's an ally. So, like, yeah, no. I do understand that people do not really dig into, like, what JK did, what is she doing right now. But at the same time, when you hear about it and your reaction is the next day to go see the movie, it's kind of, you're really missing the point, bro. So yeah, so I do understand that you maybe want to shield yourself, you want to see something comforting or whatever, which for some reason is Harry Potter. But there are obviously better ways to relax and shit. But Harry Potter aside, obviously there's in the US, there's a lot of trans regulations which are passing. There's a lot of weird Florida laws as well. There's obviously documentaries on YouTube about how abortion is bad if you watch drama channels, because that's what I do these days. Because I'm so fatigued from the war. And we feel this fatigue, well, at least from my case, I feel like I can't do it anymore because no one's listening. No matter what we do, nothing happens. And I feel like people need to understand that it's not just taking a poster and walking down the street saying something like stop the war. I'm just gonna go like very neutral on this, but it's not exactly gonna help. You need to actually do something. Like, there's donations. There's, sure, you can spread awareness, but ultimately it means you really need to like focus and think, if you do want to help, what can you do? What can you do for the refugees who are coming? What can you do on the borders? Because there's a lot of volunteers on the borders, which really, really help people to get settled, to get through the border, and etc. So there's a lot of really things to do, and I know people who volunteer in different countries just to help people get settled in new countries, because obviously no one knows when the war is gonna end, if the war will end even in our lifetime at this point, because it's that grim. And I just feel like we're all distressed from this, but no one really knows what to do, where to address our energy. So, for instance, I see people fighting about Drag Race on Twitter, and it's like, bitch, if you have that energy, like to spit shit about Diabetes, who's a saint and who's amazingly talented, you can just do something else. But at the same time, we're all tired. What can we do? Because our hands are tied. It's not like we can just click our fingers, say, slay, yes, God, the war is over. So it is a very difficult time, and I feel like making others feel guilty for not doing something is a bit too much. I feel like we could have gotten stuff done, we didn't. And I know this is a spicy take, but I think if you want to do some difference, you really should research. And you should really think, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? You need to pick your own battles. Like, for instance, sending aid and hate to a Drag Race contestant, it ain't it, sis. So yeah, so I really feel like we're all very, very disoriented, which is pretty much the point of this video, because we're just lost. Like, what do you do? Like, and specifically because it's happening in Europe, it's as sad as it is, it's because it's in Europe, people pay attention to it more. And at the same time, obviously, as the time goes, the interest won't be as high or spiked. So you can also see, like, when you look at different graphs, like the interest about the war in Afghanistan, people wanting to help, like it would always peak when something happens, then it would go flat or flatter, whatever. And the same goes for Ukraine, because people can only have so much of their attention span. And because it's so difficult to find really, really good, reliable information, and we have difficult lives, we are under capitalism still, obviously. Many of us aren't pleased with our governments. Many of us are pleased and are not pleased with our governments, with different things. So obviously there's things that we want to change in our lives, and we can't do it. And obviously it's like the Maslow pyramid, really. I know it's a very primitive one, but I do enjoy it because you need to have your first needs satisfied before you move on that forwards. And in this case, unfortunately, we think about our survival and what could help us before we go further. And even when we reach the concern about other people, we don't know what to do. And that's the problem of our reality. So the conclusion is, if you have the energy, if you have the power, the resources to do something, do something. Just please research, please know what to do, and just... I do understand that protests are important, and I'm actually gonna get a book on Judith Butler on their view on nonviolence and protest for that, but I still feel like there's more to be done. We need to really think what can change. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like, give me a subscribe. Please share, it really helps my channel grow, which is pretty much everyone who says it, but you know. Thank you.